Jai Shri Ram. Let us try to understand what are the stages that you have to pass through in order to master a skill. Like I mentioned here, Modiai's, Tendulkarais, or Kohliai's yourself. So, the stages that are discussed anywhere in any management theory or psychology. First stage is that of unconscious incompetence, where you're not even aware that you're not aware. You don't know what you don't know. So that's a terrible state. And unfortunately, many people think that they know. That's even worse. Conscious, from there, they come to the stage. So the next stage is conscious incompetence, when at least they begin to agree that they don't know what they don't know. And then they are well, amenable to teaching. With learning, they become consciously competent. So that's the next stage. But then 10,000 hours of practice is what it takes for somebody to become as good as Kohli or Modi or Tendulkar, right? So that's why I use the word Modiize yourself. So that is the flow state. They are the clutch performers, and the chokers are the exact opposite of these people. Chokers are people actually who have the competence but fail to perform because they experience what is called yips, Y-I-P-S. Yips is the temporary loss of ability for whatever reason, tension and all that. Now, the worst thing that can happen to us Hindus is, here I have represented this on the right side, the Hindu regression stages, conscious incompetence. Now, there was a time in Hindu society where our rishis and our forefathers knew exactly what they were doing and why they were doing whatever they were doing. For example, using turmeric in food. Today, Americans are experiencing Alzheimer's disease, and they have realized that turmeric is the cure, so they are popping turmeric pills. And many dumb Indians are eating the junk food that the Americans are eating and acquiring American diseases, right? So, our Indian food, for example, Indian food is basically based on Ayurveda, which originates in the Rig Veda. Now, the other examples are tilak and bindi. You see, there was a time when our forefathers knew exactly why the tilak is necessary, the bindi is necessary, because the pineal gland is there, or the Agnya Chakra, and kumkum and other substances, chandan, they also have a physiological effect. And the light pressure applied on the plexus, there is a plexus there, which is directly connected to the pineal gland. So a little pressure on that has its own importance. I don't want to get too much into the detail. So now you have one more example, birthday celebrations. You see, in my childhood, birthday celebrations, they used to follow a particular pattern. Now people are getting cakes, putting candles, spitting on those bloody candles and blowing out candles. That's the most disgusting thing you can do. In Hinduism, blowing out a light is synonymous with death. So you don't do dumb things with the Europeans or the Americans do. Well, if there is something good you need to learn from them, I would strongly recommend that you go ahead and learn, but not all the stupid things that they do. And then, for example, rangoli, rice powder used to be used, and now plastic rangolis are there, and all kinds of rubbish is there. So similarly, many other examples. Conscious competence was the stage when people knew exactly what they were doing. Then they went on to the next stage, where over a certain time, because of the loss of teachers, and thanks to colonization, there were nobody to explain to people exactly why we were doing whatever we were doing. So, but still they were doing. That is what I call the unconscious competence stage, which means they don't know, but they're still continuing, right? So there is a slight difference in the meaning of the unconscious supercompetence, which on the left side, on the unconscious competence on this side. And from there, we have, thanks to colonization, we have arrived at unconscious incompetence. That means we are not aware that we are behaving like idiots, right? We are using plastic stickers on the forehead for bindi, all kinds of weird designs. And the gum that is used is carcinogenic. And the whole purpose is lost, by the way. And like I gave you the example of birthday, spitting on cakes and blowing out candles. So you are not even aware of what rubbish you are indulging in. And you think you are very liberal and you have outgrown all the customs. Then you, well, fortunately, with some education and with some people like me coming into your life, you will arrive at a stage where you begin to realize that Well, you don't really know. You're not sure as to whether this new thing that you are indulging in is good or whether the old one is good. So that's what I call the conscious incompetence. You agree that you don't know. But then here, this is the fork. This is the fork. From here, if nobody is there to rescue you and explain things to you, the risk is the people will abandon that activity, that custom completely. Like, for example, no tilak, no bindi, no girl, Hindu girl wears any tilak on the forehead, and they think it is very, very liberal. Whereas the Christian and Muslim girls, they do whatever their religion tells them to do, but Hindu girls have acquired this habit. They think that not wearing it is very, very liberal. So, so at this stage, if nobody is there to save you, you are completely lost. You completely abandon the custom, and you lose. Whereas Americans are picking up. At this stage, if somebody can intervene and explain things, then you will go back to the first stage of conscious competence. I think this is the situation. Jai Shri Ram.